Okay, so get ready to dive deep into the world of squirrels.
Oh, this is a good one.
But not just any squirrels.
Right.
We're talking about like a real-life drama
Yeah.
playing out across Europe,
hmm
featuring the cute red squirrel
Everybody loves those.
and the invasive
Uh,
gray squirrel. You sent us this fascinating research paper
Fascinating. I was
called
reading this last night.
Spread and Attempted Eradication of the Gray Squirrel in Italy and Consequences for the Red Squirrel in Eurasia.
It's a mouthful.
And it is packed with twists and turns you won't believe.
Yeah, it's a story that really captures how, like, seemingly small actions
Yeah,
can have massive consequences for entire ecosystems.
absolutely. So let's set the scene.
Okay.
Italy in 1948. Two pairs of gray squirrels,
Oh, wow.
those bushy-tailed charmers,
Yeah.
are released in a place called Stupanigi.
Okay.
They came all the way from Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
No big deal. Right?
You know,
Wrong.
it sounds like a big deal.
It turns out those two pairs
Yeah.
weren't just enjoying a Roman holiday.
Right.
This seemingly harmless act sparked like a chain reaction,
Yeah, chain reaction.
leading to the gray squirrel spread across Italy,
Hmm.
pushing out the native red squirrel. And to add fuel to the fire, another introduction happened in Genoa in 1966.
Oh, just to complicate things even further.
It's like a slow-motion invasion,
Right.
but with adorable, fluffy invaders.
Yeah, they are pretty cute.
And the consequences have been pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
The research paper actually quantifies the decline in red squirrel populations.
hmm
They plummeted by as much as 50% in areas where gray squirrels gained like a foothold.
Yeah, that's significant.
And this pattern isn't unique to Italy.
Right.
A similar story is played out in the UK, where the gray squirrel has become a major conservation headache.
It's a classic example of what we call an invasive species.
Yeah.
A species introduced to an area where it's not naturally found,
Uh-huh.
often causing harm to native species and the environment.
So why are these gray squirrels such fierce competitors?
Right.
What's their secret weapon?
That's the million-dollar question, and scientists are still trying to figure it out definitively. But there are some compelling theories.
Uh-huh.
One idea is that gray squirrels are simply better at finding and storing food,
Great.
giving them an edge in the survival game.
It makes sense.
Like they're the ultimate preppers of the squirrel world.
Exactly.
Another theory is that gray squirrels carry a virus that's harmful to red squirrels,
Oh.
but they themselves are immune.
Oh, so it's like they're giving them a disease.
Yeah, a bit of an unfair advantage.
Talk about adding insult to injury? A virus? Now, that's a plot twist worthy of a nature documentary.
It certainly is.
Now, in the 1990s, Italian scientists launched a trial eradication program,
Oh, wow.
hoping to remove gray squirrels from a specific area.
Okay.
They actually had incredible initial success.
Really?
Okay, tell me more about this eradication attempt.
Okay.
What do they actually do?
They used a variety of methods.
Okay.
But live trapping was like a key part of their strategy. And they were remarkably efficient,
Yeah.
capturing over 50% of the estimated gray squirrel population in just 8 trapping days.
8 days.
8 days.
That's incredible.
pretty amazing.
I wouldn't catch one squirrel in 8 days, let
Wow.
alone hundreds.
Yeah.
But here's where the story takes another dramatic turn.
Oh.
Animal rights groups raised concerns about the program,
Okay.
particularly the methods used, and took the scientists to court.
Oh, no. A legal battle.
So what happened?
Well, the trial lasted 3 years.
Wow.
And raised some thorny questions.
Okay.
The debate centered on whether the program was research or pest control, which had different legal implications.
Okay.
This highlights the difficulty of balancing conservation goals with animal welfare concerns.
Yeah.
Especially when dealing with a charismatic creature like a squirrel.
I mean, everyone loves squirrel.
Exactly. So cute.
Right. And this legal battle really slowed things down
Right.
and had some unintended consequences.
The delay allowed the gray squirrel population to explode,
Oh, wow.
making eradication much harder.
So they kind of shot themselves in the foot by
Yeah.
delaying.
A little bit.
It's a classic example of how complex these situations can be. It's like a real-life game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
You try to control the population in one area,
Yeah.
and it pops up somewhere else. So what happened after the court case?
Right.
Did the scientists have to completely abandon their efforts?
Not entirely.
Okay.
While widespread eradication became much more challenging,
Right.
the case highlighted the need for a more nuanced approach.
Okay.
The research paper actually proposes some alternative strategies
Mm-hmm.
focusing on managing gray squirrel populations in key areas
Okay.
and creating sanctuaries for red squirrels.
Okay, so it's less about wiping out the grays entirely
Right.
and more about finding ways for both species to coexist,
Exactly.
at least in certain areas.
Yeah, think of it like creating squirrel zones.
Squirrel zones, I like it.
Areas where red squirrels are protected. Oh, right.
And can thrive without competition from the grays.
Okay.
It requires careful management,
Right.
things like monitoring populations,
Right.
controlling access points, and maybe even targeted removal of grays in sensitive areas.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
It's also a fascinating challenge for conservationists.
Yeah, definitely.
So this whole squirrel saga is playing out in Italy and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
But are there similar situations happening elsewhere in Europe?
Absolutely.
Really?
The paper highlights how gray squirrels are predicted to spread throughout Europe if left unchecked.
Oh, wow.
They're already present in parts of Ireland, France, and Switzerland,
Okay.
and their range is expanding.
So it's a continental concern.
It is a continental concern.
Wow. So this isn't just a local issue.
Yep.
It's a reminder of how interconnected our world is.
Yeah,
What happens in one part of the world can have ripple effects elsewhere.
exactly.
And it's not just about the squirrels themselves.
Right.
Gray squirrels have this quirky habit of stripping bark from trees.
I've seen them do it,
Yeah.
which might seem harmless,
Yeah.
but it can actually weaken the trees,
Yes.
making them vulnerable to diseases and pests. So it's not just a competition between red and gray squirrels.
Right.
It's a potential threat to entire forest ecosystems.
Exactly. And that in turn can have a domino effect
Yeah.
on other plants and animals that rely on those forests. It even has economic consequences.
Oh,
The
wow.
timber industry, tourism, and even the availability of certain nuts and fruits. It's all connected.
So you're saying that this could impact, like, the price of hazelnuts in the grocery store?
It's possible.
Wow.
It's all connected.
It's amazing how something seemingly small,
I know.
a squirrel nibbling on bark, can have such a big impact.
It really underscores the delicate balance of ecosystems.
Yeah.
And how human actions can disrupt that balance sometimes in unexpected ways.
Right.
And it's not just a European issue either.
Okay.
Invasive species are a global problem.
Oh, for sure.
You've heard of the Burmese python in the Florida Everglades?
Yeah.
And the cane toad in Australia?
Those are classic examples of invasive species wreaking havoc.
Exactly. They highlight the importance of learning from each other's experiences and sharing knowledge about how to best manage these complex situations.
So what can we do about it? Is it all doom and gloom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Or is there hope for our beloved red squirrels
Right.
and the ecosystems they inhabit?
So what can we do about it?
Well,
Is it all doom and gloom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Or is there hope for our beloved red squirrels
Right.
and the ecosystems they inhabit? It's definitely not a hopeless situation.
Okay, good.
While eradication might be off the table in many cases,
Right.
there's a lot we can do to manage the situation and protect biodiversity.
Okay, so what are some of the strategies that could make a difference?
Well, the paper emphasizes the importance of early intervention.
Okay.
The earlier we detect and address invasive species,
Right.
the better our chances of controlling their spread.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier to manage a small population than a large, well-established one.
That makes sense.
Prevention is always better than cure, as they say.
Exactly.
Another key aspect is creating those protected areas we discussed earlier. Red squirrel sanctuaries.
Yeah. Squirrel zones?
Where they can thrive without competition.
Right.
These sanctuaries would need careful management, of course,
Yeah.
to ensure the gray squirrels don't encroach.
So it's about finding ways to create a balance.
Yeah.
Not necessarily eliminating one species,
Right.
but finding ways to manage their populations and protect the most vulnerable ones.
Exactly. It requires a multifaceted approach.
Yeah.
Bringing together scientific knowledge,
Yeah.
community engagement, and careful planning.
We talked about the legal challenges in Italy,
Mm.
but are there other ethical considerations that
Yeah.
come into play when managing invasive species?
Absolutely. Like what?
Well, the methods used to control populations, for example,
Okay.
need to be carefully evaluated.
Right.
Some methods might be more humane than others.
Yeah. And there are always trade-offs to consider.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about finding the most effective and ethical solutions.
It sounds like there are no easy answers
There are.
when it comes to these complex ecological issues.
That's right. It's not about pointing fingers
Right.
or finding simple solutions. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of everything
Yeah,
and working together to find the best path forward.
This deep dive has certainly opened my eyes to the
It's a
fascinating
fascinating topic.
and sometimes dramatic world of squirrels
Yeah.
and the challenges of managing ecosystems in a rapidly changing world. What are some key takeaways you hope our listener will walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that even small actions can have far-reaching consequences.
Right.
Whether it's releasing a pet into the wild
Don't do that.
or accidentally transporting seeds or insects across borders,
Right.
we all have a role to play in protecting biodiversity.
It's a powerful reminder that we're all part of this interconnected web of life.
Exactly. And even though we focused on squirrels in this deep dive,
Yeah.
the lessons we've learned apply to countless other species and ecosystems around the world.
For sure.
The more we understand these connections,
Right.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed choices that protect our planet.
Well said so, dear listener. Next time you see a squirrel,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate its role in the grand tapestry of nature. And remember, even small actions can make a difference in protecting the incredible biodiversity of our planet.